K-pop has significantly risen in popularity throughout the years, particularly after the Korean government shift from a developmental state to a neoliberal state. According to statistics on Melon, Korea's biggest music chart, a total of 244 K-pop idol groups came and went between 2005 and 2013. That number has risen as of today and will probably continue to increase in the near future, particularly as society becomes more accepting towards K-pop. However, it is essential to emphasize that with the high number of K-pop idol groups, only a few make it to the top or become highly successful. In fact, there has only been one K-pop idol group that has been said to have paved the way for K-pop, and that group is BTS, also known as 방탄소년단. So who is BTS and what makes them different from other K-pop idol groups? BTS debuted on June 13, 2013, and is a group consisting of 7 members including Jin, Suga, RM, J-Hope, Jimin, V, and Jungkook. The group came from a small company named Big Hit Entertainment, owned by Bang Si-hyuk. In fact, the company changed its name to HYBE Corporation in 2021, and went on to become the biggest music company in the industry, towering over the big 3 known as SM Entertainment, JYP Entertainment, and YG Entertainment. But how did such a small company go on to become one of the biggest companies in the music industry? Well, it all started with BTS and their unique approach to the music industry. Compared to other idol groups, BTS took a similar approach to the boy band SOTAE and Boys, who used their music to challenge established societal norms and address issues related to youth rebellion, freedom of expression, and dissatisfaction with societal expectations. In a similar manner, BTS discography not only challenges societal norms, but also addresses issues related to youth, mental health, and self-appreciation. Thus, in addition to globalization, technology, and fandom culture, one of the main reasons BTS is one of the most successful idol groups is because many people are able to resonate with the messages conveyed through their songs, which, side note, led them to have one of the biggest fan base called ARMY, short for Adorable Representative MC for Youth. Fun fact, one example showing ARMY's power can be seen when BTS and Big Hit Entertainment at the time, now HYBE Corporation, donated $1 million to the Black Lives Matter movement, and ARMYs proceeded to match BTS donation by encouraging other ARMYs to donate through the hashtag #MatchAMillion, which they were able to reach within a day. Now, going back to BTS discography, one prime example of BTS' approach to challenging societal expectations can be seen in their song N.O, which is part of their first mini-album titled ORU-Late2, also known as ORU-Late2, released on September 11, 2013, which conveys the message that you must find your happiness and your own life before it's too late. Let's take a closer look at how both the lyrics and the music video work together to bring these themes to life.
The opening lyrics highlight the demands imposed on students by the education system, reducing them to numbers and dehumanizing them, pitting them against one another in order to become the best or nothing at all. The lyrics embody feelings of dread and suffocation felt by the students and reinforced through the repetition of its statements, heightening its emotional toll. The lyrics underline the immense pressure youth are under to succeed academically, which frequently jeopardizes their individuality and mental health. It expresses the worry and discontent that can emerge from a system that values grades over personal development. The chorus is a strong claim of refusal against the status quo, and the apparent repetition of no acts as a powerful opposition to societal pressure placed on youth to conform to academic and career expectations. It also serves as a freedom chant, calling on the youth to claim their identities. It creates a sense of urgency calling upon the crowd to act now, and states that nothing has changed, so we must start the revolution ourselves. Listeners feel the weight of these societal expectations while also experiencing the rush of liberation. It examines the dreams of the youth and the unfortunate realities set upon them by the adults. They fight against false promises that life will be easier post-graduation, as well as challenging materialistic views, advocating fulfillment over material wealth. They highlight the lack of support for personal goals and emphasize the disconnect between social expectations and personal ambitions. BTS pushes listeners to chase after their dreams rather than merely adhering to the route set out for them. Through its message of empowerment, the song acts as a call to break free from societal expectations and express their true identities. Its final lines repeat messages of self-acceptance, and the use of no acts as a reminder not to give in to the oppressive system. BTS' message acts as a reflection of past youth countercultures such as SOTAE's defiance of traditional societal norms, providing a voice for those discontent with the expectations set upon them. Similar to SOTAE, BTS highlights the challenges youth face in the modern era, transforming their contemporary song into an anthem of defiance and self-empowerment.
Within BTS's song N.O, there are various displays of authoritative repression, forced conformity, resistance to societal pressure, and self-empowerment depicted throughout the video. The settings, clothing, choreography, and symbolic imagery aid in visually displaying the hardships that many students feel due to societal pressures put upon them. There are 4 main settings which the video alternates through depending on what implied messages are being portrayed. The fully white classroom represents the most confined, societally controlled area in which students experience the most pressure to abide by authoritative rules. An open room with torn ceilings is shown when BTS is starting to resist the authoritative oppression of their behaviors and beliefs. A white staircase surrounded by various violins and cellos allude towards escaping oppression and gaining independence, self-empowerment, and autonomy over their lives. Finally, a brightly lit open area with no walls represents full freedom from oppression. The clothing color palette also represents the power dynamic between authority figures, in this case teachers and guards, compared to the students. Teachers and guards wear all white uniforms, which gives the impression that they hold high power, authority, and a sense of purity, as if they have no imperfections in their ruling. The students are initially dressed in black uniforms, which represent repression, defiance, and impurity. As the video progresses, we see that students' clothing changes from fully black to black and white, and finally all white. The black and white clothing represents students progressing towards fighting against authorities, which can seem defiant. However, they are fighting against the oppression in order to gain autonomy over themselves. When dressed in all-white clothing, they are not in uniforms like the authoritative figures. Rather, they are wearing various outfits, all differentiating themselves from one another, which represents all the students gaining their own independence along with personal liberation, freedom, and autonomy. The choreography plays a prominent role in highlighting various themes within the video. There are 2 specific choreographies which strongly represents resistance against conformity and unity to gain individual expression. The choreography between 1 minute and 30 seconds to 1 minute and 36 seconds conveys a lot of power and emotion within the movements. Students are pounding on their chests and making movements reminiscent of reloading a weapon, displaying their readiness to fight back against the mold that they are being forced into. Near the end of the video, as students are gaining freedom, they are quickly held back and detained by the guards. However, they are resilient and get back up to fight for their freedom. This represents how students had to fight back multiple times in order to fully obtain their freedom whilst escaping the cycle of oppression. Finally, there are various symbolic imagery displayed throughout the video. However, the most impactful symbolism is seen when the teacher's baton drops and the walls of the classroom break, which represent breaking through and walking away from the walls of confinement, along with the teacher cowering in fear due to his loss of control over the students. As the students turns towards the hands emerging above the ground, this symbolizes breaking free from the controlling authority and stepping towards freedom. The fog surrounding them indicates that the future of freedom is uncertain. However, the bright light represents that there is still hope amongst the uncertainty.
BTS has become one of the biggest K-pop idol groups that has made a large impact both at a national and international level. Throughout songs like Dynamite, Permission to Dance, and Butter, they gave their fans an outlet to feel understood and seen throughout the chaos of the pandemic. However, when we look at BTS' early career and debut songs, N.O is the perfect representation of taking a political stance against the education system that fails to give young children the freedom to live and explore future paths. South Korean YouTube reactors deeply resonated with the message behind BTS N.O, which criticized the education system. To them, the song emphasizes the burden that young students or young adults feel from society's academic expectation. It openly questions the oppressive academic and government systems, which do not allow them to have a sense of freedom in their future. Some reactors, like HnKNTV, are 2 South Korean men in their 40s who enjoy K-pop and analyze its lyrics. In their reaction on N.O, they interpret the lyrics as criticizing the bad points like the standardized education reality is necessary, and the song functions as a way of saying let's get away from that and rebel against the social norm. Although they are no longer students, they still feel included and seen and begin to reflect on their experiences and how certain expectations have also affected them. Another reaction channel, Live Reaction with Mom, also agreed that their video and lyrics criticized the education system and at some point felt guilty. This song makes my heart throb. I think it's about parents and adults, and the adults who created the education system. She emphasizes that as a parent, you want the best for your children and do not realize the hardships you are putting on them. Understanding the culture of parent and child in Korea is difficult for someone who is an outsider, and the message may not resonate the same way that it does for Korean parents and children. For international fans, the feelings of the song were not deeply felt but still resonated with its message, as they have also felt oppressed by their country's social expectations. For Western fans, the equivalent of University of Seoul, Korea University, and Yonsei University, aka SKY, are Ivy League universities which are held at a high regard. Entering in these schools meant meeting the social and parental expectations. YouTube reactors like DT Parker and the Colombian cousins and their wives both agreed that their song was very powerful and they're very open on their disagreement about the education system. Lyrics like Don't Be Captured by Other Streams were very impactful and deeply resonated with them. BTS songs not only provide words of encouragement and hope, but fans have also found new inspirations and goals that challenge the social norm. Their growing love for BTS has encouraged them to participate in social activism like Black Lives Matter, as well as issues surrounding natural disasters. Most of the time, their involvement in fundraising and charity are in the name of ARMY, BTS fandom name, to represent their idols and their loving community.
In conclusion, with the rising popularity of K-pop artists as a transnational phenomenon, many groups such as BTS have been globally consumed. It is previously mentioned that various aspects of BTS allow for their K-pop group to stand out amongst other artists. BTS has a large following known as the ARMY, as previously mentioned. This following allows for their music to be mass consumed by various global audiences. BTS has used their following and platform to continue to portray and engage with societal issues. Their song N.O discussed the importance of prioritizing your own happiness and well-being before time runs out. N.O is extremely relevant and showcases their current ability to combine important messages and themes with complex creativity within their music and visuals in music videos. The lyrical analysis highlights the essential messages within the song. It looks at the independence and self-empowerment and escaping the endless cycle of oppression. Within the music video, the settings, costumes, colors, lighting, choreography, and symbolic imagery convey various emotions and messages that contribute to the main story of the song. As BTS has an extremely diverse following, it is evident that they will have a different impact on various aspects of their audience. While assessing their impact on the South Korean audience compared to the global audience, there is a similarity within reaction videos of their content. Although both perspectives have similarities and differences based on the content and the messaging that they personally relate to or feel resonates within them, based on their own lived experiences. Overall, BTS is iconic and has directly contributed to the transnational phenomenon of K-pop.